Dear viewers, let's start with a picture you already know too well. You wake up in Mumbai, open the window, and for a moment you think the morning is foggy. Except it isn't fog, it is poison. Fine particles so tiny that they slip straight past your lungs and quietly enter your bloodstream. You step outside, your throat scratches, your eyes sting, and without even realizing it, you are inhaling the price of someone else's incompetence. Now here is the thing. On November 11th, 2025, that is today, Lokmat released a report that should have triggered a seismic shake-up in the Maharashtra government. Instead, it slid through the news cycle with the quiet efficiency of a scandal that everyone wants to ignore. Because the truth is brutal, Mumbai spent Rs 574.64 crore on air pollution control. Yet the air is worse than before. A city choking on smog after spending over half 1,000 crore rupees is not a mystery, it's a diagnosis. Something is deeply wrong, not with the air, but with the people who were supposed to clean it. So let's break it down, not with soft words, not with official excuses, but with the timeline, the data, and the rot underneath it. Hello, I am Tejas and you're watching Honest Take on Lokmat Times. But before we start, I have something to say. Many of you watch our videos, like our content. Your appreciation is clearly visible in the comment section. But despite that, majority of you skip subscribing to our channel. So here is a kind request. Please subscribe to our channel and help us reach wider audience. Because the journalism we are doing needs your support. Now can we skip to the main story? Let's go. Lokmat's investigation laid it bare. Mumbai was sanctioned Rs 938.59 crore. It actually spent Rs 574.64 crore and kept Rs 363.95 crore sitting idle, gathering dust while the city inhaled dust. This isn't a small gap because here is what Mumbai's air quality in November 2025 stands at. AQI 156, unhealthy. PM 2.5, 65. That PM 2.5 level is 4.3 times worse than the World Health Organization's safe limit. Let's not pretend this is some quirky environmental hiccup. This is a governance failure that sits right above your lungs every morning. What does it say about a system where money exists but clean air doesn't? This isn't just Mumbai's tragedy. Across Maharashtra, November 2025 looks like this. Jalgaon, PM 2.5 at 109, 7.3 times the WHO limit. Nagpur AQI 170, Pune AQI 166, Nanded AQI 206, Malegaon AQI 149, Nashik AQI 146. These aren't just numbers, these are organ-damaging, life-shortening, economy-draining levels of pollution. Yet, the same Lokmat investigation points out something even more alarming. Cities like Amravati and Solapur managed to use more than 25% of their allocated pollution control funds. But Maharashtra's own orange industrial hub, Nagpur, used less than half of its Rs 142.05 crore allocation. This isn't a finance problem, this is a capacity problem, a clarity problem, a leadership problem, and most importantly and dangerously, a priority problem. The V Vatavaran Foundation and Enviro Catalyst, who have presented this report, analyzed 8 consecutive years of Central Pollution Control Board CPCB data. Their conclusion was blunt. Maharashtra's pollution levels haven't decreased in 8 years. In many cities, they have gone up, and the timeline gets uglier. In 2020, funds are allocated under the 15th Finance Commission for pollution control across Maharashtra. However, between 2021 and 2024, the air quality kept dipping. Funds remain unspent, enforcement remained weak. Now let's come to the present, November 2025. 8 years of data confirm it. Maharashtra's pollution control strategy is a failure. Experts quoted in the report did not mince words. Bhagwan Kesbat warned, if policy measures are not taken before and during winter, the health crisis will escalate. Sunil Dahiya added, the measures are inadequate compared to the emergency we are facing. When experts start using the word emergency and the government still behaves like it is attending a picnic, you know where the real problem lies. Here is where the real story begins. Air pollution doesn't appear magically. It comes from very specific, very fixable sources. But Maharashtra's pollution control spending is like a man trying to mop the floor while the tap is still wide open. What are the sources? The source number 1, construction dust. BMC ordered 1200 construction sites to install real-time pollution monitoring sensors by October 2025. Actual compliance? Only 528 sites, just 44%, meaning 56% of Mumbai's construction activity remains invisible to regulators. Dust flies, sensors don't work. And stop work notices? never implemented. Source number 2, RMC, Ready Mix Concrete Plants. The Maharashtra Pollution Control Board MPCB keeps issuing guidelines like WhatsApp forwards every year, a new final rule. The October 17, 2025 directive ordered statewide OCEMS installation by November 17, 2025. History tells you exactly what will happen next. More extensions, more excuses, more smog. Now source number 3, coal-fired bakeries. This one is not just a scandal, it's an insult. The Bombay High Court said on January 9, 2025, coal-fired bakeries are the third highest contributors to Mumbai's pollution. The court ordered all 750 Mumbai bakeries to switch to PNG by July 8, 2025. By August 21, 2025, 311 bakeries, 41%, were still burning coal and wood. What did the government do? Not enforce closure, not support transition, not subsidize conversion. Just more meetings, more notes, more silence. You can't fix pollution with circulars, you fix it with action. And action is exactly what the government did not take. Let's talk about where the rupees 574.64 crore actually went. The biggest chunk, around 80% of Mumbai's air quality funds went into electric buses. Let that sink in. E-buses are good, they matter. They reduce emissions in the long term, but they do nothing for construction dust, landfill smoke, coal-fired bakeries, industrial emissions, road dust, open garbage burning. These are the real villains of PM 2.5. These are the sources that hit your lungs today, not in 5 years. Yet, they got crumbs. Solid waste management, one of the biggest pollution sources, got rupees 14 crore in Mumbai. Compare that to the rupees 120 to 150 crore spent on buses. Dust suppression, barely functional. Landfill remediation, not prioritized. Public awareness, negligible spending. OCEMS installations for industries, still incomplete. You would think a state choking every winter would treat pollution like a medical emergency. Instead, it treated it like a photo op. Between June and November 2024, MPCB issued 36 show cause notices. This is in a region with 800 construction sites, 45 RMC plants, 750 coal-fired bakeries, hundreds of industrial units. 36 notices for thousands of violators is not enforcement. It's a joke. A joke that we inhale, a joke that damages lungs, a joke that kills silently. Even worse, MPCB's favorite trick is withholding prosecution data. They don't tell you how many industries were fined, how many were prosecuted, how many were shut, how many complied. Because if that information ever became public, the system would collapse under its own contradictions. Let's compare data from 2020 to data in November 2025. In Mumbai, AQI rose from 91 to 156, a 71% deterioration. Pune from 92 to 166, 80% worse. Nagpur from 101 to 170, 68% worse. This is what makes the rupees 574.64 crore spending so damning. The money didn't just fail. The air got worse while the money was being spent. If a doctor gives you medicine and your fever jumps from 97 to 107, you don't say the medicine needs more time. You say the doctor is incompetent. Here, the stakes aren't a fever, they are lives. The simplest way to understand this mess is to ask one question. Who is responsible for Maharashtra's air quality? Ask MPCB and they will say we monitor, we don't implement. Ask the BMC and they will say funds come from the state and center. Ask the Environment Department and they will say local bodies handle enforcement. Ask local bodies and they will say we don't have the manpower. And in this circle of shrugging shoulders, 8 years vanish. Rupees 574 crore is spent. Rupees 363 crore is left unused. And the citizens inhale the consequences. There is no single accountability center. There is no unified command. There is no urgency. There is only smog. So here is my honest take. Everything boils down to one ugly fact. Mumbai spent 574 crore and still breathes air that is 4.3 times more dangerous than WHO's limits. The money did not fail. The enforcement failed. The priorities failed. The systems failed. The people in charge failed. The government failed. And not just this government, but successive governments. And the air you breathe every day is the proof. This is not about politics, this is about accountability. This is about whether a state will continue to suffocate its own people while pretending it is fighting pollution. The next time you cough on a winter morning, remember this number, rupees 574.64 crore, and ask yourself, if this is the result after spending that much, what happens when they spend nothing? That's all for now on today's Honest Take. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and never stop asking tough questions.